Hi, I'm Daz, producer of The Drift. It's been a while since my last Drift diary, and that's been for a couple of reasons. One is I just had a couple of days off just resting during bonfire night, although I was doing some filming. And I've had a very busy few days, and that has taken me away from doing stuff like this. In fact, my feet have barely touched the ground, and so sorry about that if you were waiting for one or something, so that's why. But you can probably see a little bit of what we've achieved. We had a set building weekend, the second sort of big one where we invited everybody we could invite, and there was definite change in focus of what we were doing. It wasn't just set putting anymore, it was costumes and makeup, visual effects and gadgets and stuff like that. And we've got to a point now in the production where it's difficult because first of all, I'm getting quite tired, to be fair. Other than the day off I had last week, the one day off, I haven't stopped since August, so it's getting a little bit tiring now, spending every day on it, as well as going to work and doing all that and all stuff at home. So it does, take its toll. But what's really good is that the energy from everyone else has been really supporting and helping me and helping everyone else, and that's infectious, and that's really good. So it is good, and I'm still enjoying it. Still enjoying the whole thing. It's all good. It's just hard work sometimes. So that's the first challenge. The first thing that's sort of changing now is, like I say, I'm getting tired. But the second thing is that when we first started building all the sets, we knew we wanted this many corridors and this and this and this and this and this, and then you make one corridor, and then you make the next one. It's just a copy of the other one. And now we're getting to a point where we've pretty much done all those, and we've done the deliverance sort of ribs, the outer sort of bit, and now we're having to concentrate more on the detail, and that's difficult for two reasons. One is there's a lot of detail, there's a lot of things that has to be done, and they're all each very small, and because each one is different, each one takes longer than doing lots of the same thing like the corridors, and because they're all very small, you see a very small change for each one that you do, and that has an effect on, not so much on morale, but certainly an effect on what you've got to show for your efforts that day or that hour or that weekend. So that's difficult. And the third thing is the dilution of my effort in that now, or rather, whereas before I was working on the main priority, because it was the biggest risk, was building the sets. That's still a priority, but other elements of the production are now becoming a priority because they haven't been looked at yet. And they're starting to creep in. And that's how it was planned. It's not a case of we forgot about it. It was a case of that we needed to think about the sets first, and now the costumes are starting to require attention. The script is requiring attention. And the props are requiring... everything's starting to require attention. We've even started looking at cameras and shooting styles and stuff, which really properly won't look till in January. But it creeps in because it affects certain things, like how big the set's going to be, what colour it's going to be, where the lighting is going to be, all that kind of stuff. So, and things like choreography of the set movement. So where we set them up in one way and then have to move another way, getting right down into the specifics of is it going to fit and what order we do it in, and what's going to be in each of those sets, and is there going to be a number on the wall, and is it going to be a different number but the same set with a different dressing, and stuff like that. So that's also taking up a lot of time, sort of like research and development. So it's getting quite difficult now. I don't know what happens. What I can do to sort of re-energise. I think you just got to keep going. I think it's just sort of like check your checklists and make sure it's going to plan, which it is. All things considered, we're still on track, and that's a really good thing. That's not to say that we'll always be on track. It just gives us capacity that if we're not on track later to catch up, because you always factor in sort of 10% sort of element of things going wrong. Budget-wise, yeah, we spent all the money. More money is coming in through backyard productions, but only very small amounts. It's not a case of we ran out of money we didn't expect to. It's a case of we spent a lot of money far more quickly than we expected to. So whilst more money will come in, it's only a small amount a month. It takes about 2 to 3 years to raise a large amount of money to make the film. A lot of that money has gone, and we're not going to get another load in very quickly. So it's looking at alternative options of how we get more money in. So that's a factor. So we are looking at things like that. But it's not prohibitive. It's not stopping us at the moment. They're large amounts, but they're not massive amounts. They're not, I can afford to pay for some of it for a couple of months, and then as long as I get the money back, that'll be fine, that kind of stuff. So it's not breaking the bank, so we're still good. But obviously at some point, the money needs to be paid, so that is a big deal. So, there we are. A bit tired. Done some videoing of the weekend, which will be going online soon as well, but I just thought I'd give you an update on where we are with stuff, and you can see that it's looking pretty good. Looking pretty good now. It's the cockpit of the Deliverance, so very good. It's all coming together nicely. Some of the screens are in, and like a big screen there as well for the which I won't tell you about, but it's part of the ship, so that's good. In fact, let's have a quick look. Just over here, you can sort of see, there's a bit more set there. So yeah, it's getting quite. It's pretty much full now. Like I say, we're all pretty much as big as it's going to be, and then. But it's looking good. It's looking good. Wait and see. Hopefully next time I do one of these I'll have a bit more energy, but I'm really quite tired at the moment, so that'll do for now, I think, and I'll see you next time.